Hello, one and all. I hope everyone is doing well. Time is limited, so I'm going to kind of move through this fairly quickly and jump right into it. I'm discussing today what the topic of my dissertation is going to be. I've entitled it, which may be fluid at this point, but basically The Regulars, the Roots of Contemporary Republican Conservatism. The context that this will be within is looking from about 1900 upwards of 1950 with a specialized or heavy focus on the 1910s and the 1920s. Basically, what I'm doing or attempting to do is place the roots of modern day conservatism in the early 20th century. I'm going to do so by looking at the California Republican Party and the split between progressives and regular Republicans. We can see this as the foundation of what we know today in the Republican conservative platform as anti-statism, anti-progressivism, anti-communism, small government, moralistic free market perspectives, and even individualism and strict constructionism or constitutional interpretive values. I'm going to look at how these evolved through the progressive era, the New Deal era, to the 1950s, and eventually becomes the modern day conservatism of Reagan and beyond. And so once we look at context, we have to discuss so what? What's the historical significance? Most discussions on modern day conservatism center around the supposed reactionaries of the 1960s going forward. There has been some historical analyses that push the roots of contemporary Republican conservatism back as far as Robert Taft. Very few, and I mean very few, have investigated the roots being viable before the New Deal era of FDR. My research will suggest that the foundation of modern day Republican conservatism is to be found in the early 20th century during the progressive era. These roots will be shown to have begun not in New York, not in Ohio, not in Chicago, but out in the West in California, which was not only a dominant Republican state at the time with a massive population growth, but they also held a large number of delegates and votes that were vital to Republican success nationally at the time. Progressives via Theodore Roosevelt, Hiram Johnson, and others were attempting a progressive hostile takeover of the California Republican Party, which would cause a schism in the state between the regular Republicans and the progressive Republicans. These California regulars would, in short order, form a new conservatism that I'm going to show would become the national and standardized platform of contemporary conservative republicanism, much closer to how we know it today. And so, moving from context to historical significance, for me, with such few interpretations of the roots of modern day Republican conservatism arising out of the progressive era, this study hopes to fill a very large void in the historiography. The study also hopes to bring to the forefront those California Republicans that were first in the trenches with the progressives and radicals, men like Joseph and William Nolan, and how they, from their Northern California districts, first launched the ideals that are commonly known as conservatism today. Hopefully, this will give rise to further investigations and studies on the topic, help to expose historians, students, and the general public to the long-standing political and ideological fight between modern conservatism, progressivism, and Marxism, and finally, hopefully, help to clear some of the fog of contemporary understandings of left versus right, conservatism, progressivism, and Marxism in American politics, economy, and historical context. And in the end, the whole point is to periodize the roots of conservatism in America and to take the discussion into some areas that it needs to go, but for one reason or another, really has not historically or academically, thus politically and policy-wise. So I want to thank everybody for listening to me ramble today, and I will keep everybody updated as to the progress on the regulars. Thank you very much.